Hello and welcome to HyperDog Digital. This is Scott. And today we're going to take a look at a series of cases for the Samsung Galaxy S8. These are cases by Seidio, and we have all the cases right here. We're going to take a look at the optics, the Surface with kickstand, and the Dialects with kickstand, and then we also have the Surface and the Dialects that come with the holster. So what we're going to go ahead and do is just take a look at these here and the optics, which will give you a look at all the cases that they've sent us. So let's go ahead and jump right in and get started. So the first case we have here is the optics, and this is generally going to be your minimum level of protection. Let's go ahead and just pop this open. I'll tell you right now, I really like the cases that that Seidio is putting these in, mainly because they are just so dang easy to open. Flip it open, bam, you're there. There's the case. Take it right out. Now maybe these are review units, so they're a little bit easier, I'm not sure, but if all the cases are like that, then I just want to say thank you, Seidio, because those are so easy to get open. So here it is. Here's the case right here, and as you can see, soft rubber. It's a one layer, not much to it. So we can just go ahead and pop this guy on here real quick. And there you go. There it is. Not much to it. Easy to get on, easy to get off. All the buttons line up just fine. You're able to get to the fingerprint reader and the camera and the heart rate sensor fine. There's no space around it, but there's plenty of room to get down there and touch those when you need them. Openings top are fine, and openings bottoms line up correctly. Not a ton of space for the headphone jack, but it's pretty thin, so that might not be a huge issue depending on what you're using. Doesn't seem to cause any problems with the screen protector. So that's really about it. It's clear, at least this one is, so you can see the back of the Galaxy S8 if you like to keep that that pure look. It doesn't add very much bulk at all. In fact, it almost feels like there's nothing on there, no extra weight really. So this is definitely a minimalist type case. Doesn't give you a ton of protection, but it will give you some. There's some nice bumpers here on the corners, which are good. It helps if you drop it on one of those corners there. It should add some extra protection. But it's definitely minimalist. Probably the lowest level of protection you can get, at least with these cases that we're going to look at today anyways. So if that's what you're looking for, this is a very nice case. Fits well. Openings are all there. Does give you decent protection on the corners. So I do like that quite a bit. Let's move on to next up. We have the Surface with kickstand and holster. So let's go ahead and take a look at this guy. This would be your typical medium level protection. And we'll take it out of the holster, and you can just easily flip that guy up. There's a nice felt backing to this case here, or to this holster, so it won't damage your case or the front of your phone, however you decide to put that in there. This is an interesting case. It does come in actually 3 pieces. Let's get this insert out. As you can see, it slides apart. So you have 1, 2, and then 3 is the inner layer. And this is a very thin, very soft rubber. So we'll go ahead and put that on there. Fits on very easy, no problems. Openings and buttons all line up appropriately. And then you actually slide this guy on from the bottom and the top, and then snap it together. There you go. And then you have your kickstand, of course, which will allow you to prop it up if you wanted to. And it only works in landscape mode there, unfortunately, but that's okay. Again, you have plenty of space down on the bottom. The openings down there, plenty of space on the back. Doesn't really add very much bulk at all. It's very thin, holds tight to the form of the phone. The openings here for the buttons all line up, and they all work. So there you go. It's a nice hard plastic on the outside, kind of a soft rubber kind of feel to it. So it adds a little bit of bulk, a little tiny bit of weight, but not very much at all really. You're probably not going to notice. Like I said, this is about a medium level protection. A little bit more than the optic would give you, but not quite as much as the Dialects, as we'll see. I do like this. It's still pretty minimalist, I guess, if you want to look at it that way. Now the only thing with this guy is that it's a little, really, once this case is on here, it is on there. I haven't found a great way to get this to come off real easy, but once you get it moving, it seems to come off just fine. Let's go ahead and take a look at the holster too, of course. Now you can put this on either way. You can put it with the face out, but normally these go with the face in, which is why that felt there is really good. Not falling off of there anytime soon. And this does rotate, so you can put it on a couple of different ways. So there you go. That is the Surface with kickstand and holster. Very nice, medium level protection, holds very tight, not much bulk, doesn't bother a screen protector. Certainly a good option. But not least, we have the Dialects. Again, this is by Seidio for the Samsung Galaxy S8, and this would be your high level protection type case. So let's go ahead and take a look at this guy. Again, thank you, Seidio. I love how easy these cases are to open and get these guys out of here. So here's the case here. One thing you can notice right off the bat is you got these bumpers on the corners, which will add certainly an extra level of protection, especially when you drop it and you might hit one of those corners. Let's go ahead and take the insert off of this. Now I already tried the one with the S8 Plus, and I found out the hard way that really it's just easier to leave. This is 2 layers really. There's a hard plastic and a little bit softer inner rubber layer, you know, but it's easier just to leave it together and just pop this guy in there like that. There's no problems getting in that way. It's not hard at all. It's very easy to install, very easy to remove. So you certainly don't need to disassemble it like you do with some other cases that are 2 layers. So you can see that the buttons are easily identifiable, and they stick out perfectly good. They're lined up properly, and all the openings on the bottom are there, lined up properly, and there's plenty of space for any connectors or headphones you might want to plug in. Doesn't bother the screen protector at all. And again, this is definitely your higher level of protection. And even with that in mind, you can see how deep it is here. So it's showing you what level of protection it is. It doesn't add a lot of weight, and it really doesn't add that much bulk either. I actually really like this case. It's definitely going to give you a lot of protection. It just looks good, and it's certainly built well. It looks like a very premium case. Well, it is. Here's the holster, and one thing I didn't notice when looking at it for the S8 Plus was that there's a couple of different locks on here. One, there's a lock right here, which will keep this from popping open and your phone accidentally slipping out, although this does hold pretty tightly, and I can't imagine that would even ever be a problem. And then you also have a lock here you can unlock this, and then this thing will pop off if for whatever reason this gets damaged and you want to get a new one. You can pop that off, or if you don't want it for whatever reason. So here you go. This simply installs. Oh, gotta unlock it. Right here like this. And again, just like with the other ones, you can put it face out or face in. Generally, this is the way to do it, so you're not bumping your screen into anything. But definitely that holds pretty tight, pretty sturdy, pretty heavy duty. I don't think you'd have any problems wearing this around and keeping your phone intact. Those are the 3 different cases we got here for the S8. Again, you got the optic, which is the probably the low level protection. It's a very thin rubber. It does give you some extra bumpers on the corners, but it basically is a very minimalist case. Lets the phone come through and doesn't really obscure anything about the phone. It's not doesn't really add any weight or any bulkiness to the phone. So if that's something you're looking for, it's definitely a good option for you. Second in line is the more medium level protection, and that's the Surface. It's 3 layers, snaps together. An inner layer soft rubber that the hard layer snaps onto. It does have a kickstand as well. This is again, your medium level. Still doesn't add a lot of bulk. Still doesn't add a lot of weight. Very nice case as well. And lastly, you have the Dialects, which is your more heavy-duty case. Definitely gives you the high level of protection. It's got these bumpers on the corners, which definitely will help a lot if it lands on the corners. But just everything about it, it's a little bit harder plastic on the outside, a little bit more harder rubber inner layer as well. It's got the kickstand as well. But this is definitely something you're going to want to go for if you're, a guy like me that drops their phone an awful lot. It's going to give you a lot of protection, and really they all look very nice. They all look like premium cases, whether you're going with the minimalist one here or you're going with the heavy duty. They all look great. They all fit good. The openings all line up. I don't think you can go wrong with any one of these cases. Thanks again for joining us here at Hyperdog Digital, and we'll see you next time.